Domestic conflicts are not ignored by the Jamaica Constabulary Force, as they can result in serious injury or death.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Constable McIntyre, along with Constable Pierce. We received a telephone call re a domestic dispute at this location. Are you okay, ma'am?
Just me and my husband. We had a dispute. I was asking him some questions, and he got all upset on me.
Yo, but I stop stressing me out. You're not here, you're not listen.
In these situations, we make sure that all parties involved are unharmed and prevent the situation from continuing or escalating. It's also our duty to inform the disputing parties that counseling is available to prevent a recurrence of the situation. If there is any evidence of harm to anyone, the police have a duty to commence an investigation. Help us to keep you safe. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, a force for good.
All right, welcome everybody. Greetings, 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 greetings. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to another episode another in the series of The Chopping Block. And we are live on our YouTube channel, Chops Media. And this is perhaps the first time that we're going to go live from our Chops Media page solo. So we're giving you guys some time to share, to tell a friend, to tweet a friend, to call a friend, to tell a friend that we're live and that we are on The Chopping Block with yours truly, Chop Chop. It's going to be an interesting lineup this evening, right? Colin Flowers, I see you, my friend. Angela Grant, you are first in line. Annette Grant, I see you're in the building. So what you're going to do for me, guys, is to take this link from our YouTube channel and post it all over so we can get folks to come on over here and join us on The Chopping Block. We're going to have Mayor of Kingston, His Worship, Cllr Delroy Williams. He's going to join us in a few. And then we're going to have the Member of Parliament, the independent Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland. Yes, you heard right. George Wright is going to be on here live. We're going to have a candid and open discussion. And I tell you guys, you're going to be in for a treat. You're going to be learning some things about what's happening in Kingston and St. Andrew in terms of development. The mayor is going to be here to tell us about what's happening in Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. And a lot of new things are happening, folks, just in case you don't know. For those of you who are in Kingston, you can testify to the sort of development that is taking place in the downtown Kingston area in particular. And, funny enough, today we had a briefing from the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and the Attorney General, where a zone of special operation was implemented in Norwood, St. James. And that will certainly help to stem the sort of violence that we've been seeing popping up in that area. And what was quite interesting was that during that press conference, the Prime Minister made mention of extra police activities down there in Central Kingston. And one of the reasons why I choose to mention that is because last week we had on this program the Member of Parliament for Central Kingston, and that is Donovan Williams. And everybody knew that prior to that we had Rosalie Hamilton, who is the councillor for the Raytown division, and she was on as well. We were also cognizant of the fact that the opposition caretaker for the Central Kingston area has been calling for a zone of special operations. I think the Member of Parliament and the councillor for the Raytown division had a slightly different approach, and it seemed to me like the approach that they prefer is the approach that the Minister of National Security and the police hierarchy would have taken. And based on what was coming out of that press conference today, it seemed like there will be extra policing, which is basically answering the call from Rosalie Hamilton. She was asking for the police to be on the ground and for the police to do their investigation in Central Kingston and to come up with solutions for the crime and violence in the area. So while we have a zone of special operation being established in Norwood, the approach for Central Kingston is to beef up the police on the ground to do the investigation and to sort of put a stoppage to the hemorrhage and the bleeding that is taking place down there. So we are hoping that these two measures will stem the violence in the two areas. Just to remind you guys that we are coming to you live on our YouTube channel, Chops Media, and we're asking everybody. Sharon Davis, you're here. Rena Forbes, good to see you. Asking you guys to share it, to post the link from the YouTube channel on your Facebook page and in your WhatsApp groups, so we can invite folks over here to participate. So we can get, you know, before we get our guest on, we can have a good audience to view what they have to say. So that's the two stuff that happened today. Is noteworthy is the press conference with the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and Norwood, of course, would fall directly into the constituency of the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Horace Chang. That's his constituency. So, you know, sometimes I was having a discussion with somebody today, and one of the things that we spoke about was it's the whole saying of damn if you do, damn if you don't. I've heard in several circles where the Minister of National Security has been blamed and chastised sometimes for not doing enough to quell the violence in his constituency. So now that there has been action taken, and this is significant, guys, for those of you who don't know, when a zone of special operation is established, it really means that there is significant resources that will come with such a an announcement. You know, people will be so impacted in a very, very positive way. The zone of special operation brings with it a lot of development and social, what is called social intervention programs. The different ministries and the different entities of government would be mandated to come in and to participate in the constituency, giving persons in there an opportunity to get legitimized and to you know, where identifications is provide educational opportunities, housing, zinc fence removal, and just basically changing how people think, how people function in those constituencies. So, you know, we look forward to seeing how that's going to work. I think the Prime Minister mentioned this morning that there were several ZOSOs that have been implemented already, and so far they have been great success across the board. I think there might be one or so that that had a little some sort of issue there, but nothing to call home about, and we're not scoffing at any chance, you know, by any means, at anybody who might have lost their lives during, you know, a zone of special operation. We saw recently, and I'm making this pronouncement a little bit before we get started with our guests. We're still waiting on His Worship the Mayor to join us. He's getting his device situated, and I'm hoping that we'll have him on very soon. We've now gone live on our Facebook page because a lot of persons are not able to view on YouTube, and we're getting some complaint where that is concerned. So we're now live on the Facebook page as well. But we still encourage persons who can view from YouTube to do so, and we're encouraging persons just to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel is where we're going to be broadcasting most of our contents from going forward. So we're now live on both. We're going simultaneously on YouTube and on the Facebook channel. So, but another noteworthy situation arise when we saw that boat pulled up in Miami-Dade County recently, and a bunch of Jamaicans were on there. And it's so funny that you hear people all over the diaspora. My phone was ringing off the hook, people asking me, what is going on in Jamaica, because people are running away. And I said, what are you talking about? And they sent the video, and you saw where there were Jamaicans on there. Luckily, they spoke, and they were on camera. And of course, the police would have done their investigation. And we've now realized that a significant amount of the persons on that video were actually persons who were wanted for criminal activities. Wanted for criminal activities in Jamaica. So they were not as people deem it to be, where, you know, persons were saying that things were bad in Jamaica to the extent that persons were running away on boat. So that was not the situation, guys. Let me, before I go any further though, say happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Happy Father's Day to all the great dads in town. You know, Mother's Day and Father's Day are two different night and day in terms of how different they are. Today's Father's Day, but it's still the mothers are still squeezing a little part of it for themselves. Noel Morgan, good to see you, my brother. Appreciate you joining us. Daisy English and Lily Williams Lawrence. Barbara Buchanan, good to have you back. Carlton Allen and Chris Dixon, good to see you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We don't take your viewership for granted, you know, because let me tell you, there is so many options out there. There is the good old mainstream media that you guys could go to for your information, and you choose to stay with us because I think we keep it real, we keep it honest, and we keep it 100%. Shauna Dillon, good to see you. So just in case you're just joining us, we're slated to have Mayor Williams, the mayor, His Worship the Mayor, Delroy Williams, Kingston Mayor from the largest municipal corporation in Jamaica. He's slated to join us, and he's going to be telling us about some of the goodies. Lots of stuff happening in Kingston and St. Andrew. There's huge development on the waterfront. For those of you who live in the diaspora and have not visited Jamaica for a while, some of you who left Jamaica when downtown Kingston was abandoned and nothing was going on down there. Well, let me tell you, downtown Kingston, the waterfront in particular, is abuzz with excitement. There is so much stuff happening down there. There's so many new businesses. There's literally a hip strip along the waterfront down there. I was amazed the first couple of times I've walked down there. I never believed that downtown Kingston could come back to this. It is alive and kicking. And we cannot wait to have the mayor of Kingston on so we can get a chance to delve a little bit into what's happening down there. Of course, we are going to have, after the mayor, we're going to have George Wright, the independent member of parliament for Westmoreland Central. Yes, you heard right. And all other people touching their neighbor. Oh, did he say George Wright? Yes, I did. George Wright is going to join us after we have a wrap with the mayor. He's going to be here to talk about his transition from nothing to something, as they would say. It's an amazing story, guys. And I implore you to get your device sharp, ready, because when we come back, we're going to have our guest on and we're going to start our discussion. Stick and stay. Stick and stay. We're going to be right back.
Hey, it's the girl Shensia with a message to you from myself and the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Shen Yangs, everyone see wear a mask where the numbers drop. I don't want COVID, lay you don't chat. Nose and mouth, you pick cover up that. Oh, 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 oh. Sanitize or get hospitalized. Fight the virus, then fight for your life, yeah. Nobody talk about say you no response no more. Don't be reckless, cause you test so you not have it. You can still get the virus from somebody. Don't be reckless, cause you test so you not have it. You can still get the virus. So keep the numbers down. Protect yourself and the people around. COVID in town, 6 feet apart and 6 feet in the ground. Yeah. Keep the numbers down. Protect yourself and the people around. COVID in town, 6 feet apart and 6 feet in the ground. Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
This is Jamaica land we love. But in the blink of an eye, someone may die.
This is our country, and we have to take a stand.
We are our brother's keeper. We make the country we live in.
So we have to stand up and not make crime, mash it up.
Standing for women and children.
Take a stand for each other.
Take a stand for the culture.
Happy we country. We can't make crime mash it up.
A message from Crime Stop and the JCF. Stand for something.
All right, so welcome back, folks. So we seem to be having some difficulty with Mayor Williams' device. So what we are going to do is we're going to jump the gun and go a little faster than I had anticipated, and we're going to bring the independent member from Central Westmoreland, George Wright. We're going to bring George Wright on simply because the mayor's device is not connecting. So just give us a quick second. We're going to come right back. So tweet a friend, call a friend, phone a friend, and tell everybody that we're on, we're live. And we're going to be joined in just a few minutes by George Wright, the independent member. And I keep saying independent. Get used to it, folks. Get used to the word independent member. I don't know if any of you know, but anybody who can recall us having an independent member of parliament in Jamaica's parliament, please type it on the screen. Don't know where you can find that information, but I don't think it's anywhere because I do not believe that exists. I don't believe it exists. But let's just make sure that our light in there is superb. Right, so again, folks, like I said to you, there is so much that is happening downtown Kingston. We really wanted to have the mayor on, but it appears that there is some issue there with his device. So let me try to see if I can get us connected with George Wright. Let us get him get George Wright connected, and get him connected now, and we can move forward because we're not going to stop what we're doing and hold our horses. Ryan, I see you. Welcome, my friend. I saw you in the Western City yesterday, soaking up some of that beautiful Harmony Beach Park down there in St. James. What a beautiful place. I had the opportunity of walking over there, and you know, other than when it was open, I went over there and I saw some of the amenities and how beautiful that place is. I have to say kudos to the government of Jamaica for taking us one step closer to first world status and to what Jamaica should have been like, you know. I've always said this, and I continue to say that Jamaica has lost significantly because we should have been way ahead of where we are today. And I think we still lag behind. Somebody referred to George as the independent labor right. I don't know about that. that is not what exists today. Marsha Monroe, good to see you. Larry Bond, Fitzroy Brooks, and Rohan Buchanan, good to see you as well. Charlene Small, Marva Samuels, welcome. Thank you guys. Joan Millis, good to see you, my friend. Blessings on you. Central, North Central Clarendon, big up yourself. Good to see you. Yes, so that park is beautiful, and it tells you of how Jamaica can be. You know, it's just a pity because a few years ago, and when I say a few years ago, let me not just say a few years ago, the 1990s, and I've said this repeatedly on this program, the global economy grew significantly. The global economy grew significantly, and as such, the Jamaica should have capitalized on that growth. We never did. We lagged behind. We lagged behind big time, and I am a little bit disappointed because when you look at some other countries, you know, Jamaica boasts about Singapore. We talk about Singapore more than any other country in the world. And Singapore would have adapted some of the stuff that they have implemented for their economy to be where it's at today. They would have adapted some of the stuff from us. They would have adapted some of the stuff from Jamaica. And my biggest problem is, why couldn't we implement some of those stuff and put us where Singapore is today? Singapore is the size of St. Catherine with no natural resources, nothing compare, not even the human capital is as great as ours, you know, but they managed to bring their economy to where it's at today. And we talk about them every day, but we failed big time. But I think Jamaica is now on the path. There is an old saying back in the days that Jamaica is poised for takeoff. That was an argument put forward by the late Michael Manley, who every single budget presentation he would emphasize how poised Jamaica was for takeoff. But that boat just never took off at all. We suffer. I see Ryan is saying prudent financial management, which is right. Which is right. Jamaica is now at a better place. And folks, while you're sharing the program, while you're telling a friend and tweeting a friend, while you're telling everybody that we're live on our YouTube channel, Chops Media. We're getting ready to be joined, hopefully, we have George Wright is here. We're waiting to bring him on. But we're giving the mayor a little bit more time to see if he's going to get his device up. If not, we're going to move forward. But we have George Wright is right here. So prudent financial management, my friend, is what this country has been lacking for years. For 18 and a half consecutive years, we operated with a debt to GDP running up to as far as 148%. And I know a lot of people are talking about where we are now. The Andrew Holness-led administration with Dr. Nigel Clark as with Dr. Nigel Clark as the Minister of Finance has managed to navigate their way through some murky waters and brought the debt to GDP down to under 100, 96 thereabout. I think the objective was to bring it down to somewhere in the region of 60, 65 thereabout. Now, I don't know if anybody understand what that means. If we ever manage to get our debt to GDP down to in the 60s, what it means, you know, folks, is that we will be left with about 40 cents out of every dollar to spend on developing the country. No, I don't know if anybody realized how simple and easy it could have been for us to grow Jamaica. It was a very easy task. If we had managed the financial aspect of Jamaica and had enough money to spend, right? Remember, we're spending $148 out of every dollar. So it means that every time we spend, we were spending monies that we didn't have. Now, if you can just imagine that we are, after, you know, paying your bills and paying your teachers and your government workers and fulfilling your obligation for debt and all that stuff. Can you imagine you have 40 cents out of every dollar left behind for infrastructure development and all that stuff? Now, if Jamaica can afford to take on this level of development in the country, while our debt to GDP is hovering somewhere in the region of what? 96. I think we went back up now to about 110 because of COVID. Can you imagine if we are able to do what I'm seeing happening in Jamaica? I've traveled almost every parish in this country, and the level of infrastructure development that I have seen is mind-boggling. And I'm just simply saying, if we can afford to take on those levels of development now at this stage, can you imagine if we had 40 cents out of every dollar available to spend on Jamaica? Jamaica would have been a first world country. I would not give us anywhere more than about 5 or 10 years, maximum 10 years, to become a developed country. If we have that level of debt to GDP, 60 or 65 thereabout, with that amount of money left in the bank for us to spend, we would have been doing great. But you see, we were on a path of development when PJ Patterson was Prime Minister. And I remember we had a standby agreement with the IMF. And once we paid off that IMF, or once we got to a level, we said bye-bye to the IMF. The Jamaica government today said bye-bye to the IMF. But there's a difference there. When the PJ Patterson administration said ta-ta to the IMF, they did not continue on the foundation that was laid. They deviated big time, went into their own spending spree, and just doing some stuff that was just crazy. And that just never worked out well for us. You know, I think what is happening now is that we are treading the same course as being prudent, being responsible in our spending. Even though we don't have an IMF agreement in place, we are demonstrating great leadership, you know, and a sense of responsibility in how we handle the country's money. And that's what makes the difference between what exists then as opposed to what exists now. The government now is spending, I can't say what the numbers are, but when you look at the amount of development, you're talking about the new bypass road coming in Montego Bay. You're talking about the expansion of the South Coast Highway going from Clarendon down somewhere down into Manchester. That is significant. That's a big deal, if you ask me. And that's the type, that's what we're looking for. That's what our country needs. An opportunity to breathe, an opportunity to grow. I think if Jamaicans are given the chance to grow and to breathe, they'll do better. Everybody you talk to in the diaspora tell you about crime. I spoke to someone today who lives in South Florida or somewhere there. And one of the things, well, I wouldn't come back to Jamaica because of the crime. And I said to the individual that, look, I played the news in Atlanta recently. And when I listened to the news in Atlanta, just a week ago, I played the news and about 70 or 80% of that newscast had to do with murder in and around Atlanta. Shootings. At one point, I went to a South Lake mall, and one of the shootings that I heard on the news took place at the very same mall I went to a day ago. So crime is not unique to Jamaica. And the truth be told, I am not even certain that we are worse off than some of the countries that are being bandied about. Because I don't think it's fair game to compare us with the United States in general, in terms of size and demographic. It's unfair. It's unfair. But it is what it is. I think we're working on it. I think I, for one, have come on this program before and give credit to the police force, because the police force, I have seen significant improvement. I've seen significant improvement. As you know it, the force, I've always said that the police force was inherently corrupt, but I have seen significant improvement. I've seen where the police has improved significantly, and they are solving crime. They are picking up people more than they used to. I've always said years ago that one of the issues that Jamaica has, and the police force in general, is if they can close that gap, which is when someone commits a crime, the possibility of you getting caught ought to be very high. And I see where there is significant improvement where that is concerned. You can rest assured that every time you hear of a murder or some high crime in Jamaica, the individuals are going to be captured in very, very short order. So there's some work being done there. I saw a news clip recently where Dr. Chang handed over some new equipment, new police cars and motorbikes for quick response. And those motor cars are equipped to do a lot of stuff that only the police knows. It's not my duty to disclose what those vehicles are capable of. But my advice to you that if you have intent, any intention on entering the criminal network, you might want to rethink it, because the possibility of you going to jail here is very, very high. It's not like what it used to be, where it was a case of wonder if. It's actually there where the possibility exists. So while we're going to take a break, folks, and when we come back, the man himself, MP George Wright, is going to join us, and we're going to have a nice little chit chat with MP Wright. So stick and stay. We are going to be right back.
My name is Noel Chang. I'm a constable attached to the Mobile Reserve Division and the JCF SWAT team. I've been a member of this team for 2 fulfilling years. The training, of course, would have helped me to grow as well. I find it to be very fulfilling playing an active role in the crime fight. and in developing my nation. Join the JCF and start a career.
This is what you've been waiting for. A chance to change your point of view and take the break you deserve at Jamaica's resorts and attractions. When you can open your door to the seaside instead of just outside. Where you can change your mask and take a plunge.
Sunshine smiling warm up inside your heart. Feeling of pure love. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat. Dancing to the beat. Up inside your heart.
Whoa.
Heartbeat of the world. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat.
Contact your travel agent today to book your staycation. RediscoverJamaica.com.
Spice up your winnings. New game supreme upon the scene. Hot pick a do it and it easy to win. Pick any number from 1 to 15. Then all you do is watch all your winnings come in. All you need a $10. You can bet it and make it in $100. You might even win a 110 or 130. And the best money this you ever spend, dada. Hot pick, Supreme Ventures, this are the new hot topic. So easy if you win, check your ticket for the payout where you get then wrap up your money in the elastic.
See there, we're catching number 7. You win $100, TC win 110, and SWAT wins with 130. Hot pick, easy to win. Easy if you win, me say it, easy if you win. Easy if you win, me say it.
Introducing Hot Pick, the hot new way to play from Supreme Ventures.
Hello? 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 Yeah, you. Hold on, and a pandemic winner. You're now wearing a mask, you're now washing your hand, and you now keep the required 6 feet distancing from other people. And what could I really cause you? You need to stop it. That no mask, no wash, and no distance something there, nah keep. You know what keep? COVID-19. Yeah. It not gone nowhere. COVID-19, they are same way. So here what you are going to do for all of we. Wear your mask, wash or sanitize your hands pan a regular, and yeah, keep your distance, please. And thanks.
These are unprecedented times when our courage and love for each other is tested by a global crisis. And while you have no choice but to postpone your travel plans, we understand it is the right thing to do, and we know the brighter days will return. After times of crisis, travel has always brought the world together and has allowed Jamaica to serve the world with one heart and as one people. To slow the spread of this unprecedented and challenging health pandemic, we urge you near and far to observe the many calls for social distancing. We're doing the same, and we look forward to when next we meet again. So even though we're many beating hearts, in times like these, our hearts beat as one. Jamaica, heartbeat of the world.
Adults to 30 minutes activity daily. Love your body, treat your body right. Vegetables, make sure you eat plenty. Children do 60 minutes activity daily. Drink some water when you feel thirsty. Cut down dessert and have a smoothie. Jamaicans, love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Just eat right. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. One more time now. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Just eat right. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Listen up. Make sure you know your health status. Go a doctor and get a regular checkup. Chronic disease can slowly creep up. We can lower the risk and live up. If we just eat right and get moving, jumping, running, dancing, or skipping, change the children, them lazy habit. Make them play out the door and put down the tablet. Jamaicans, love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Just eat right. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Jamaica get moving. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Just eat right. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. After two, make me hear you say I love me. 1, 2. I love me. 1, 2. I love me. 1, 2. I love me. After two, make me hear you say I love me. 1, 2. I love me. 1, 2. I love me. 1, 2. Jamaicans, love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Just eat right. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. One more time now. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Just eat right. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Jamaica get moving. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Just eat right. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. One more time now. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Just eat right. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Listen up. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right.
All right, so welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, welcome back. So we are reconnecting with everybody, and waiting on MP Wright, who just walked in. He just stepped in the studio, so he's going to be on with us now. Beverly Buchanan, good to see you. Taylor Brown, welcome. Sophia Fine. I think MP Wright is here with us now. He wants to pull his laptop screen back a little bit like he had it before, and then we should be perfect. There you go. Yes, folks. So, long anticipated discussion with MP Wright, and I know everybody is buckled in and ready to join us. Let us welcome the member from Westmoreland, the man from West, MP Wright. I greet you well, my friend. How you doing?
Good night, Chopper. Good night, viewers.
Awesome. So
I'm fine.
A lot of folks was sort of iffy and wondering, is MP Wright really coming on? But he's here in live and living colors. MP, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you very much.
It's been a long overdue discussion. And I think a lot of people have been anticipating this discussion that we want to have with you. First of all, let me say thank you for accepting our invitation. I know you have choices. There's lots of media houses that you could have gone to, and you choose to stay with us. So we appreciate that. Cllr Spence, good to see you. Brenton Bell, good to see you. So right, you know, this is one of those discussions where I have a lot to learn here because I don't know you as much as I should. So I want to start off by asking you to just tell us who is George Wright. Are you from Westmoreland? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm from Westmoreland. I'm from a little community called Caledonia, going towards Darliston section there. Yeah, and growing up as a little youth, you know, my mother used to sell in the market. So I used to be there with my mom until, you know, I built a little cart and start to push cart, you know, carrying goods for the people, you know, to and from the market to their home, and from the store to their home. So, you know, the transition starts right there.
So stick up in there, because a lot of people probably don't get. Are you saying that you used to push handcart in the market down there in South?
Yes, sir.
Wow. How many are you out there who knew that about MP Wright pushing handcart in South Market? Carry on, my brother.
Yes, sir. And then after finish you know, pushing the handcart, get a lot of experience there in driving and, you know, to in the town, you know,
Maneuvering
moving to
yourself
and
in
from.
traffic.
Yeah. I leave from there and then I started to drive minibus.
Oh.
Right. So I used to run minibus from South to Negril and from South to Kingston. And then right there in about 86, you know, while driving minibus, I used to transport a lot of tourists. And, you know, at them time I used to call those tourists hippie. So, you know,
but stick up in there, Georgie, because you're moving fast, you know, and I want to soak up this because this is very important. So you started out by pushing handcart in the market. And then by doing so, you transition into
driving
buses.
Yes.
So is it, how did that transition come about? Was it because you were in the market where the buses were? How that transition came?
Well, actually, driving cart in the town of Sablamar, them time, you know, a lot of, you know, vehicles. So you have to know to reverse. You have to know who to drive to go through, and you don't scratch other people's vehicles and stuff like that. So it really give you an experience there. And from there, you know, I went and, you know, I get applied for a driver's license, you know, and then you have to drive for that as well. So I did get a good size PPV license, you know, so I could, you know, carry passengers. So from there, I started to drive bus to Negril, from South to Negril, and that was like a fun. It's more of a job, but it was like fun to me, you know, because then, you know, I mean, driving there, you know, carrying the people, you're meeting a lot of people, you know, and I mean, you know, and from there, you know, I decided that, okay, then I'm gonna do some business there in Negril. You hearing me, Chopper?
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you clear, man, loud and clear.
Right. So I started doing some work there in Negril, where I start, you know, to rent bicycles, and then, you know, starting a little tailoring there, you know, because back then, you know, flour used to come in that white bag there.
Yes, flour bag.
So yeah, so I used to use those flour bags to make pants and shirts for those tourists.
Hold on.
And I also used to make slippers as well.
So you're a tailor, George?
Yes, sir.
What?
Also a shoemaker.
This is getting interesting. The man was a push cart, man. Went into driving bus. Went into tailoring. And you also made slippers. You're talking about those flip-flops that the tourists would go crazy over, huh?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So and I also used to do baking there as well.
Wow. No, I don't know if anybody recognized that the resume of MP Wright is getting thicker and thicker as the minute go by. Carry on. So
and I'm also a mechanic by profession. Auto mechanic.
MP, slow down a second. Yes. Let me see if we can recap again. So we started out pushing cart. Then we move into driving bus.
Yes.
Then we move into tailoring. Then we started to make flip-flops.
Yes.
Then we did a little bit of baking. And on top of that, we're still an auto mechanic.
Yes, sir.
I hope people are understanding what we're dealing with here. You know, this is coming from the bowels of the grassroots, as they would say. Carry on, my friends. So we're mechanic now.
As I reached to the point where I said I used to be in Negril making pants and shirts for those tourists. And then we moved from there and I started renting motorcycles.
Yes, to the same tourists, right?
Yes. And from the motorcycles, I started renting motor cars.
So you're growing.
Yes. And right about there in about 2000, I decided to enter into used parts business, where that take another toll, you know.
Yes.
And was going good.
Yes.
After which I started to sell used vehicles.
Wow. So this is a journey. You went from the actual part, you went from driving, and then you go into the part selling, and now you're actually selling the used cars.
Right, sir.
Wow.
So from there, you know, I mean, getting very popular in the parish, and more so, you know, island wide, you know, because then start to selling the used parts and used vehicles, you get people from all walks of life.
Yes.
You know, so right there and then, you know, I've been approached by both sides.
And so both sides, you're talking about the JLP and the PNP.
Right, to enter into politics.
Right.
So right there and then, you know, I try to do a little homework for myself to analyze, you know, which is the party that I would consider, you know, representing. So I do some research there, and you know, I think about the parish and the constituency which I reside in.
Yes.
And then I make my decision, because then, of course, it was a constituency that was neglected, and you know, there was no form of development taking place there, which is a fact where everybody would have known that.
Yes.
Right. Yes. So I decided to go with the Jamaica Labour Party,
What year
because
was
of,
this?
you know, well, when I decided to go with the Jamaica Labour Party was about 2014, 15, thereabout. You know, where, you know, I started to being involved.
Yeah.
Right? Because then
politics, yes.
Right, being involved. Right. But after a disappointed death there of one of our caretaker, or you know, MP caretaker there, you know, then I decided that okay, then I will give it a shot. And that was 2016. It was about February of 2016 where I ran for the Jamaica Labour Party, of course, and I lost there in 2016 February. So after I lost, I decided to stay with the people. You know, I mean, I wanted to represent the people them so badly that I decided to run as a councillor. So right there and then, you know, I start to do my campaigning as a councillor for the Petersfield division, and in February of the same 2016, I won the Petersfield seat.
Yes.
In the November of 2016. And I must tell you something, Chopper, that in the parish of Westmoreland,
yes,
there was no JLP representative in that parish, and they have 14 councillors, which 14 of them was PNP, and they have 3 MPs, which 3 of them are PNPs. So, you know, one would be thinking that it's a hard task, you know, but I was able to make it, and I took 4 seats out of 5 in Central Westmoreland on November of 2016.
So you were the caretaker at the time, and you won your council seat, and you were the caretaker for the entire constituency.
Constituency, right.
And under your leadership and your organization, you would have taken 4 of 5 council seats.
Yes, sir.
Wow. You know, let me tell you, before you go any further, George, MP Wright, let me just say this to you. And for those who don't understand the history of the Jamaica Labour Party, When Bustamante started this noble movement called the JLP, there was a man from St. Thomas who run on a ticket, George. And he was a sideman on a truck, a market truck, that carried goods from St. Thomas into Parade, downtown Kingston. He was on the ticket as a member of parliament candidate up in St. Thomas. And the reason I'm saying this is that your story is a story that represents the meaning of the Jamaica Labour Party. Bustamante in his grave today would have been extremely proud of you and where you're coming from. Because that was what this Labour Party movement was. It was a grassroots movement started by Buster and people like Frank Pixley from down there in central Kingston. Grassroots people started that movement. And I'm highlighting that because your story depicts exactly what the Jamaica Labour Party is about. So be proud of yourself. Carry on through. Carry on.
All right. So as I said to you, so we won that 4 seats, which I told you there was no representative, elected representative here in the parish.
Right.
So right there and then, we started that transition there, and we started that movement to do the work of the people, to represent the people, to engage, I mean, like a family,
yes.
So we started the work there, and I want to tell you that I started there, and we try ensure that the people garbage are collected, the street lights are erected in areas. Those that are not working, we ensure that they are working. For communities that are without water, potable water, we would have trucked water into those communities, or would have tried and get funding to buy black tanks and help to assist residents in acquiring water for their personal use. Of course, in Westmoreland, a lot of persons depends on farming. So we would have engaged those farmers, giving them fertilizers, seedlings, and also spraying material and stuff like that. And to ensure, that they, feel a bit, they feel, that they have a purpose. And, and they want to continue their farming, And of course, there was a lot of bad roads that, we would have gotten. I would have gotten several farm roads that I've applied for, so at least persons who wanted to go into the communities to purchase good to go and sell, they can go freely.
Right.
Because some of these roads are very impossible to go at times, And I must tell you, there as a counselor, I must, I'm gonna call one minister name who really, really look out for counselors, not just me, but all counselors. Is Mr. Mackenzie.
Desmond
Mackenzie. When I was a counselor, I feel like a mini MP,
Yes, you feel empowered.
Because then, of course, you could give out a little funeral grants, you could give out a little care packages, you could, give out housing assistance, you name it.
Even though your MP even though you did not have a JLP MP, you felt empowered as a counselor. Wow.
Right. And, you give out a lot of books, textbooks and exercise books, pen, you name it. Things for children going to school. So at least then you would alleviate some of those stress, some of the parents, who probably find it hard at times to, send their children to school. So I feel, I did feel like a mini MP at the time.
Yes.
So the work continues.
Yes.
And one of the things that I try to focus now is on the youth in the development of their education. So we try our best to engage them in whatever way, shape, or form we can. Right? So there, as I tell you, as a counselor, we really, you know, feel empowered and try to represent the people as best as possible.
Right. So you folks, just in case if you're just joining us, I think the only media host that has not been tuned in now would have been probably CNN or NBC. I gather that every Jack Mandora is tuning in here. God, this is interesting. It's a very interesting story, MP Wright. We're gonna take a quick break, guys. And when we come back, you have outlined a lot of stuff that you have accomplished as a counselor. So I want to know, when we come back, to look at the transition from counselor into member of parliament, and we're going to take it from there into the transition from a JLP member of parliament into an independent member of parliament. Stick and stay. We have with us the man himself, George Wright. An interesting story. We'll be right back.
These are unprecedented times when our courage and love for each other is tested by a global crisis. And while you have no choice but to postpone your travel plans, we understand it is the right thing to do, and we know the brighter days will return. After times of crisis, travel has always brought the world together and has allowed Jamaica to serve the world with one heart and as one people. To slow the spread of this unprecedented and challenging health pandemic, we urge you near and far to observe the many calls for social distancing. We're doing the same, and we look forward to when next we meet again. So even though we're many beating hearts, in times like these, our hearts beat as one. Jamaica, heartbeat of the world.
Yes, so welcome back, everybody. We have with us the Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Central, George Wright. MP, before we went to the break, you outlined a lot of stuff that you have accomplished as a councillor, and know that you have outlined all that. You transitioned in 2016 into now not just a mini MP. You know, is the MP. You know, this is why this discussion is so interesting, folks. If you look at the way in which the MP would have grown, starting out from pushing cart. Let me just recap for those of you who have not had a chance to hear yet. Started out from pushing cart in the market down there in South. Transition into driving buses. Did a little bit of tailoring. Did a little bit of shoemaking. Right? Started to sell used parts. Moved into selling used cars. I mean, if this is not a success story, I don't know what is a success story. And, you know, in life has a balance, MP. It comes with the negative and it comes with the positive. But growing up, I've always been of the view that the positive always win, you know. Good always conquer evil. So you have transitioned now into an independent member of parliament, and we're going to get to how we got to that level. But let us just look at all the plans that you have all the stuff that you have achieved so far. I want to now look at what are some of the plans that you would have put in place for the constituency coming in as a member of parliament. You would have drafted up a plan as to how you plan to execute, and you would have drafted that plan based on your knowledge coming from being a councillor. What are some of the plans that you have for that constituency?
All right, so you know, coming from a councillor level, you know, transitioning to a member of parliament level, you know, there's a bigger task at hand, right? Well, of course, then you would get also more resources.
Yes.
You know, and then you have a bigger voice for the people.
Because you no
right?
longer
So,
mini.
right. So you're thinking about the development, thinking about infrastructure, right?
Yes.
Thinking about creating jobs opportunity for the people. And Westmoreland is one such unique parish that you know have a lot of potentials, right? So thinking about a cruise ship, because then I've been engaging persons on this as well, you know, to bring a cruise ship port to Westmoreland Central, because then we have the capacity. We have areas where a cruise ship port can be docked at any time, whatever size ship. Yeah, we have that facility right here. So all we need now is for investors to come in and to invest right here in this constituency special, right? And thinking about a BPO and all these things that I'm telling you about, you know, is things that can create jobs opportunity for the people, because hundreds of people live here from Westmoreland to different parishes to work in the BPO sector. Why not for Westmoreland? So I've been lobbying as well and in that area, you know, so to ensure that the people of Westmoreland, you know, no longer have to travel day and night to go to work, you know, far distance, but in close proximity, right? And also, where it comes on to infrastructure.
Yes.
You know, you want to ensure now that, you know, we have proper road in here for the people, especially the motorists, because, you know, bad road cause accident, cause death, loss of life, right? So I'm lobbying and that in that area as well. And in fact, I can tell you that a couple of millions of dollars will be spent in Westmoreland shortly, because then we have, I think, a certain roadway had gone out to tender now. So it's just waiting on that successful bidder.
Yes.
To, you know.
Well, you know, you mentioned something there, MP, that is a good segue into you've outlined some of the plans that you have in the pipeline. You talk about cruise ship, possible cruise ship pair in that area. You talk about a possible BPO like job creation down there. And you're talking about road infrastructure and development. How does your you sitting now as an independent member, how does that affect some of these plans that you have for the constituency?
It does not affect it, you know. You see, once you are representing the people, you're advocating for the people, so it should not affect. In fact, I am entitled to every or anything, just like any other member of parliament sitting in parliament.
Oh, so the chatters and the jitters by some of the members of the constituency who might believe that by virtue of you now sitting as an independent is going to affect the development of the constituency. You're saying no way.
No way.
No way. Great. No way. So there you have it, folks. Your representative is assuring you that the representation continues and whatever is allocated for Westmoreland Central will be disbursed and will be spent in that area.
Remember now, Chopper, you know, I was elected by the people, you know, not by a particular member of parliament or any councillor. I was elected by the people of Westmoreland Central. And I will be lobbying on their behalf, and I will be representing them in the best way possible.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's what? We have another 15 or 10 minutes to go, and I want to ensure that we get a lot of the discussion out there. I'm really intrigued by your humble beginning, by where you started. Because, you know, for one to start where, and I said it before, MP, is that the very foundation that the political movement called the Jamaica Labour Party is laid on is the foundation to which you spoke. A humble beginning. And I spoke about the gentleman from St. Thomas who was a loader man on a backup, my side man on a truck. And he run on a JLP ticket. So somebody who is coming from the level that you are, and you have ascended into being a member of parliament, it speaks volume. Now, we're not going to, as I would say, my favorite word, pussyfoot around, because we know what would have brought us here. We know that the space, the media space, whether it be social media or traditional media, has been loaded with a lot of comments and commentary and allegations and all that good stuff. How does that affect you or your family, MP?
Well, it does, because then, getting up every day and hear the media houses with the different controversy, it really take a toll. But of course, you have to be strong and resilience. So
yes.
I have a purpose. So I'm here, to
So
serve my purpose.
Focus. You're focusing on the job at hand,
yes,
and not the distraction.
Right.
Good. How about your party workers? The one of the discussion I overheard a conversation recently, and of course, based on the fact that you're sitting as an independent, one would want to question the structure of workers, because the workers that you would have had, and this is just based on the discussion we're hearing, those workers would have been quote unquote JLP workers. Is it that George Wright, as an independent, is going to now have workers who are independent to you?
I'm gonna say something to you clearly, Chapel.
Yes.
You see, the workers here in Westmoreland Central, they have a high respect for me. And they said, JLP, MP, PNP are no P. George Wright is the one they are going for. George Wright is the one who stand up for them. And that is a legacy that I carry here in Westmoreland Central. One who stand up for the people. It doesn't really matter which side are you. I stand up here for the people.
Yes. And that is very profound. The opposition leader. The opposition leader made certain comments and pronouncements in Parliament recently, where he said that he is concerned about you sitting on the opposition side, knowing very well that you're going to be voting whenever the time comes for anything that the JLP would have put forward. What do you say to the opposition leader where that is concerned? Because he's watching in a jar.
All right. So where that is concerned, Chopper, is that I am one person who believes in the development of this noble country.
Yes.
And once the government puts something forward, which will benefit this country or the people of this country, I have no question in supporting such.
So you're saying you're voting based on what come before you as it relates to the people of Jamaica and not the political
and the people of my constituency.
Yes. Your seat placement in Parliament brought a lot of controversy recently. Your seat placement, MP, where you were asked to sit. You're asked to sit at the front of the opposition bench. But by the way, did you know that where you sat on that bench, you carry the highest amount of vote on that side?
Yes, sir. I know about that.
So you're sitting
I'm
in front
aware.
proudly. So you're sitting in front proudly, George Wright.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. I wish I had that clip here because also there is the member from East Kingston. The member from East Kingston, member Philip Paulwell, had a clip out on social media where he too, and I think he is the opposition whip, for lack of a better term. He is the leader of government business for the opposition, leader of opposition business in the House. And he said that they have a problem with where you sit. No,
I must say to you, Chopper, that every member of parliament have an appointed seat there.
Yes.
Right? And I don't really go by custom, I go by the Constitution.
Yes.
So if there is a vacant seat there,
yes,
an independent can sit in a vacant seat.
And you choose, George, and this is where me and you know we have a good beer and have this conversation off camera. And you choose to sit in the front of the opposition seat. They have enough fit over it, you know. But another question for you though, George, and I don't want to believe
I'm very much disappointed, you know, in them, you know, behaving in such a manner, you know, I mean, you know, over a seat. I'm very much disappointed in them. But I mean, you know, as I said, we go by the law and the Constitution.
And the Constitution can sit anywhere there.
Right.
Absolutely. You took a leave of absence from Parliament to take care of in your document. It says to take care of personal business, and you were slated to return on a particular date, but you returned early. Sir, right? What happened?
As you mentioned just now, that I took leave of absence to take care of some business. All right, the business has come to a closure. So once business has come to a closure, I have my people to represent. So I go back to Parliament, you know, to ensure that I stand to represent the people.
Right. So you went back early because what you had to take care of was taken care of, and you saw it fit to return.
Certainly.
I think that's a fair enough answer, because you know everybody was up in a frenzy. Why is he here? He's not supposed to be here.
Well,
everybody.
Yeah, but guess what happened again? The good thing about it is that you're entitled to go on or before, not after.
Yeah. Right. So you're making sure that, you know, because it's important, you know, you don't want the labor laws to come down on you to say you abandoned your post.
Yes, sir.
You made sure to be early. You know, to be on time, George. I learned this growing up. To be on time is to be ahead of time. Yes. And I have to give you credit for that, because you came back a little early to ensure that you were on time. You know, the last 3 months have been a little rocky, and as you have said earlier, it would have taken a toll on the family. Is your mom still around?
No.
Good, because I tell you something. I'm gonna say good. This sort of publicity sometimes is not the best, but I gather that you can handle it, and you have done tremendously well in handling it. You know, you see, I'm reporting what I'm picking up on the ground to you, George, and you can slice it and dice it however way. One of the arguments I overheard as well is that you were approached by the People's National Party to not just cross the floor, but to tender your resignation so as to trigger a by-election in central Westmoreland. Was any such discussion with the People's National Party?
Well, that is a news carrying right across the world for me to tender my resignation. But the people who, the only person that can, you know, remove me from that constituency is the people who elected me. No one else.
No one else.
No, unless I would have committed myself, which I won't commit myself to lose my seat. But apart from that, the people who elected me are the ones who can remove me.
Wow. And I hope everybody on social media and all the traditional media persons who are watching will take note from that. And you would not yield to such a offer if it were to happen.
No.
And you're also saying that your vote is not tied to the JLP.
No.
Tied to the people. All right, there you have it, folks. So that was George Wright. We're going to take a break, MP. We're going to come back, and when we come back, we'll give you a chance to speak to your people, the people of Jamaica and the people of Westmoreland Central. Some 500 of them watching right now. I can guarantee you that a significant portion of our viewers now is from Central Westmoreland. So I'm going to give you a chance when we come back to speak to them and to speak to Jamaica on a whole. You know, what are some of the issues? What are some of the concerns? What are some of the arguments? And you can lay to rest what you may when we come back. Stick and stay. George Wright. Yes, you heard me. George Wright is live with us. Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
Full of flavor, no if or no maybe. Malta, my crave on a daily. I couldn't ask for a better cold glass. Coffee can't pass from this. My Malta, my pocket with me. You know, I got it with me. I feel have a buckle for myself. Yesterday the shop locked, so today me come back. 2 new flavors on the shelf. Me say me see it and me grab it and me love it and buy it. My mommy take it and she pull it and try it. She say Malta in the morning, afternoon or night. And she finish it, she don't need no help. Drink them more. Coffee or vanilla, the Jamaican original. Have it with my lunch and my dinner. Ginseng with the ginger, make you settle and you simmer. Good for the baller and the singer. Make you feel good and it tastes real nice. Better when cool, so we put it on ice. Take a sip once, if you take a sip twice. Mother full of flavor for life. Mother full of flavor for life.
Digicel, that a fi myself. Healthy, fast and reliable. If your network a hit, make sure you switch. Upgrade, move up, cause did you never miss? Premium plans, no value for your money. More data for you and your honey. First 2 bills for the month, top up for your money for credit, so you can chat now. Say Digicel, I fi myself. My Digicel, up on me best friend. The music, make you move it. What sports match my team never lose yet. Best go send a message from me. Then we a video call with the whole click. And when me done, me watch a movie. Super fast internet, that's why me choose it. We no like slow. Upgrade your digital life now. And everything will be alright fast. Digicel, you are the boss. Best plans with the best cost. High speed internet. Quality of where you get. We no deal with slow, so no fret. Digicel, killer say you are the best. Digicel, I feel me sell.
All right, so welcome back, folks. In case you're just joining us, we have the member, saying the independent member from Westmoreland Central, George Wright. Yes, you heard me. George Wright is live with us, and he has given us some really, really good information as to his upbringing and some of his plans for the constituency. Some of what he has achieved as a councillor and what he has planned for the constituency as a member of parliament. George Wright, as I said before, depicts exactly what the party is about from grassroots to where he's at now. Starting out, as he said earlier, as a pushcart man down there in South, transition into some tailoring, shoemaking, did a little bit of baking, selling auto parts, selling used car. Then came councillor. No, then came MP for the Jamaica Labour Party. Now an independent member. Now, if this is not a story, I don't know what is. And if anybody wants to dwell on anything else, feel free. But I will focus on who George Wright is. George, you have the last word. We are going to give you an opportunity to speak to the people of Westmoreland Central and by extension Jamaica, because a lot of persons are here listening and want to hear from you in your own words. So I'm going to give you a chance to speak to you folks. You have the last word, George.
All right. As you all know about all what is happening there out there in the media, the police or the security forces, which is the highest level of investigation, they would have carried out their due diligence and they would have come up with a conclusion. So that's where it is, the conclusion of the security forces.
That has to do with the allegations that is swirling all over Jamaica. You are saying that the police would have done their investigation, and it is just fair to stick by what the police have said. Folks, I cannot say it any clearer. I could not have asked for any better. George Wright, we appreciate you.
But Miss, I want to take this opportunity to wish every good fathers happy Father's Day. I also want to take this opportunity as well, Chopper, to ask on our government. You know, there's a spike in crime and violence here in my constituency. And I'm just asking for more police presence here in the constituency or in the parish. Because losing of one life is losing of too many. So, and you know, you heard of what is happening here in the parish.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very much concerned.
So you're asking for more police presence on the ground.
Right.
And I'm quite certain that the powers that be would have heard your cry and would be more than happy to discuss that with you, whether you are a member of any political party or an independent. You represent the people, and you have said that categorically clear, that you represent the people, and the people are the ones who. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Just want to you know, make one announcement as well, that the people of Westmoreland and Westmoreland Central need to know of some of the development that will be taking place in a short order. There will be a new police station erected in my constituency. And a multi-million-dollar pipeline to run water from Ruin River to Negril.
Say that one more time. A new police station is going to be built in your constituency.
Yes.
And a pipeline project from?
Ruin River to Negril.
To Negril. And that's a major development. Yes. What else you got?
Sir. Well, as I mentioned earlier, and that there will be a lot of road rehabilitation, road patching here in the constituency. So, you know, people can look out for, you know, a lot of development taking place here. I want also to call on the government, because there's a lot of informal settlement here in the parish and more so in my constituency that I represent. And I would really love to see an end to informal settlements. You know, you have persons living on these lands for years without molestation. Now, the people must know, because there's a lot of people, you know, I mean, even civil servants living on these lands. And all these persons, they are paying NHT, and which they don't know is that NHT, they have benefits. Once you're a contributor to NHT, there are benefits for you.
Yes.
So you can get your benefit if you have your title.
So you're calling on the titles office now to embark on a program to assist people in your constituency with titles.
Yes, sir.
Well, you have the bully pulpit, you know, and based on our discussion, you are relentless on your representation and advocacy for the people of Westmoreland Central. So I am hoping that you will take this to the highest level as it relates to writing to somebody or going in person to knock on doors. I think now that you're not tied to any political party, you can ramp up the pressure without feeling like you're being, what should I say, not loyal, because your loyalty lies with the people of Westmoreland Central.
Certainly, sir. Certainly.
I will say to you, MP, now that you have a lot of time on your hand, knock on some doors, you know, knock on the MP's doors and say, hey, I'm here. What can you do for us? I know the Minister of Housing. I think it's Colonel Charles Jr. I think Colonel Charles Jr. will have a discussion with you and would give some assistance in ensuring that the member get what is required to get the people their title. The government is embarking on that program, you know. And the last I know is that it doesn't matter what P you represent, they will have to listen to you. And I don't see the JLP as that type of government who will say because you're an independent, they don't want to take any pictures with you and they don't want to listen to you. I don't see that as happening. And I don't want to say it because when you're gone, I'm gonna have my last word, you know. And I tell you, George Wright, my last word will not be as eloquent as yours. Because there are some people who are going to call out, but I don't like call them out when I have my guests on. So I don't wait until I leave to tell them my mind. But you know, we appreciate you coming through. When I called and asked you to join us, you, without any hesitation, you agreed. And I appreciate your candid and open discussion, sir. I hope for you the best. I hope that you will continue to advocate for the people of Westmoreland Central. They deserve every ounce of representation that is possible, and they deserve that representation without political interference. So there should be no political football played when it comes to the representation of the people. Because at the end of the day, like you have said it, is the people that send you to Garden House, and it's the people that can remove you from Garden House. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
All the best to you.
Good.
All right, so there you have it, folks. That was MP George Wright in his own words. And for those of you who believe that George Wright could not be as candid and open when we advertised that we're going to have George Wright on this program, uncut, uncensored, a lot of you cringe in your chair and say, what the hell is this guy up to? Well, there you have it. That was George Wright. From, as I would say, from nothing to something. George Wright starting out as a pushcart man down there in Savlamar, pushing cart from Sav to Negril. Merge his way into some tailoring, he said, making slippers for tourists, renting bicycle and bikes, Then he moved into selling, driving bus into Kingston, selling car parts, selling used car. Enter into politics, becoming a councillor for the Petersfield division. And then member of parliament. And he now sits on the opposition bench with the highest vote. With the highest vote. So for those members of the People's National Party and for those members of the Jamaica Labour Party, some of who don't have 8,000 votes, not just JLP, but PNP too, some of which don't have 8,282 votes. George Wright have it. And the people put that on ballot and send him that on. So some of the very people on the opposition benches who eloquently spoke of how upset they are about George Wright sitting on that side of the house. I say to you, George Wright, sit where you may. And as you eloquently put it, the Constitution provides for you a seat in Parliament, whether you represent the JLP, PNP, or no P. And as it stands now, you represent no P. You represent one P, and that is the people of Westmoreland Central. You sit in the front seat because you are the Dan Dada. You have more vote than all of who sit behind you. So every time that the PNP have an argument to make, Mr. Wright, you walk with that little plaque, the confirmation on election day that you receive from electoral office. You walk with it. And every time that the PNP come at you to criticize or to talk about where you sit, you show them. And I would implore you also to get the section of the Constitution that speaks to seats arrangement in the Parliament and remind them that you're not here and there on their requests or on their behest. You're sitting there because you're elected by over 8,000 citizens of Westmoreland Central. And you should spare no bones but reminding them. And to some of the JLP supporters too, some of who scorn you like you step in a shit, remind them, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, I don't care who want vex, I don't care who want call me tomorrow morning, you don't have to call me. Me not elected. Some of the very GLP members who scorn you like you step in a shit, remind them every time them do it, remind them that your day will come. Mark my word. Your day will come. Some of you eloquent speakers who believe because you're so perfect in speaking the Queen's language, and because your slate is so clean and you're so well above reproach, and that you're all in white garments and you're pure as snow, your day will come. We are human beings. None of us are perfect. Some of who are cast in stones live in a glass house from top to bottom. On both sides. Both sides. Both sides. Not just PNP, because on a PNP alone are act a fool. GLP too. Both sides. When you live in a glass house, I told entertainers that recently, and I'm going to tell it to the politicians, both labor rights and PNP. when you live in a glass house, do not throw stones. And your day will come that all of us walk out there and sometimes we see a load of mess. And because we're not paying attention, because we are preoccupied with other stuff, we might just step in there. But most importantly, sometimes we step in mess because we're not perfect. None of us are. The Bible, the great book, says, he who without sin cast the first stone. I see a lot of stone are fling. And some of the persons who are throwing stones are sinners themselves. So I would implore you that the time you spend to throw stones at others, the time you spend throwing stones at others, you would reflect on your own self and ensure that you will never be caught in that web. None of us are perfect. People make mistakes. And if God can forgive us 70 times 7, who am I? Who are you? Ask yourself these questions. We'll be right back.
This is what you've been waiting for. A chance to change your point of view and take the break you deserve at Jamaica's resorts and attractions. When you can open your door to the seaside instead of just outside. Where you can change your mask and take a plunge.
Sunshine smiling warm up inside your heart. Feeling of pure love. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat. Dancing to the beat. Up inside your heart. Heartbeat of the world. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat.
Contact your travel agent today to book your staycation. RediscoverJamaica.com.
This is Jamaica land we love. But in the blink of an eye, someone may die.
This is our country, and we have to take a stand.
We are our brother's keeper. We make the country we live in.
So we have to stand up and not make crime mash it up.
Standing for women and children.
Take a stand for each other.
Take a stand for the culture.
Have we country. We can't make crime mash it up.
A message from Crime Stop and the JCF. Stand for something.
Hey, you can be anything you want in a life and where you come from and where your mindset deck. Look on me, now we come from the yard and the ghetto and I represent the brand Pepsi. Hey.
Yeah, we're doing it for the love. So good here we can't get enough. Every taste, every vibe, every kick in a hit. I can rise up above.
For the love of taste, I can.
For the love of self-expression, I can. For the love of standing out, I can.
For the love of myself, I can.
For the love of moving people, I can.
For the love of my country, I can.
Jamaican, I can. Jamaican, I can. Jamaican, I can. Jamaican, I can. Proud to be a Jamaican.
All right, so welcome back, folks. Let me just take this opportunity in thanking everybody. The YouTube channel, as we've asked and we've begged everybody to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we've seen that you guys are doing just that. Share the news, you know. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors that we are live on the YouTube channel, which is Chops Media. And we also have an Instagram page, Chops Media, as well. And of course, you're all familiar with the Facebook page, Chopping Block. Again, let me say thank you to everybody who came through tonight. Thank you to George Wright. And for those who participate in the program, thank you guys. Magnus Williams out of Atlanta, good to see you. Greg, you're in Canada. John Atkins over there in Western St. Andrew. Good to see you, my brother. Bartley Swaby, good to see you as well. Greg, how is Canada going? Rick Faulkner, good to see you, man. Loads of respect to you guys for tuning in. We're happy that we could bring this to you. Joan Millis, lots of respect to you. Charles Douglas, Barbara Buchanan, good to see you. You know, sometime, Jayan, how are you, Jayan? Good to see you. Good to see you. Magnus, enough respect, my brother. Paul Steele, Paula Fuller, Emron McCurdy, good to see you, sir. Paula Fuller, Patroy Seal, and my able upcoming superstar, Anishka, good to see you as well. Appreciate your help, guys. Keisha Mack, I see Keisha Mack is in the building. I see Nadine Dakri is in the building. Delroy Foot is in the building. And all you folks, I appreciate you guys for coming through. We apologize we didn't get a chance to bring on the mayor of Kingston, Councillor Delroy Williams. His worship, the mayor, Delroy Williams. Didn't make it on. I'm hopeful that we can get him on some other time, so we can explore some of what is happening down there in Central Kingston. Not just Central Kingston, but Kingston and St. Andrew overall. He is the head of the municipal corporation there, and it would be good to get some info. Jayan is saying that tomorrow the liars will twist some of the argument. Yes, they will. But, you know, let me tell you something. What I do here, and I probably want to make this statement, you know, might be just an important statement to make. I've been doing this since 2015, before the Jamaica Labour Party won the election in 2016, from 2015. And I've been doing it fearlessly. I've been giving my opinion politically since then. A lot of politicians, and let me say, a lot of JLP politicians have used this platform to their benefit. And they didn't do it because they had to pay me or they had to do anything for me. Nothing. Because what we do it for the love of country first. I am of the view that the political party that rules the government today has the better policies and programs to bring Jamaica where it ought to be. And for that reason, I will do whatever it takes to facilitate. But bear this in mind. Nobody pulls my string. Nobody muzzles me. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. Nobody tells me what to say, when to say, how to say, and why to say. Never have. No politician has ever done that. And at this stage, from 2015 till now, it would be hard pressed for anybody to do it at this stage. So when I speak openly and frankly. I speak honestly. And if I tell you that this is the direction I'm going, that's the direction I'm going. I'll never bullshit you. I'll tell you like it is. I'll make some friends and I'll create some enemies. It's the nature of life. It doesn't take away from who we are as an individual. It certainly doesn't. But I want to say thank you to George Wright for coming through and speaking with us openly, frankly, honestly, and for giving his story. Very interesting story. It is not for me to delve into the rumor or delve into other stuff. That's not my duty. That's not what I take on. I just want to put my opinion out there, put it on record. And one of the most profound things that came out for me tonight is the ability to compare George Wright's journey into the politics to the fundamentals of the Jamaica Labour Party. I spoke to the bus driver, or sorry, the sideman on the truck in St. Thomas that run on a JLP ticket. And what that tells us is from whence we came. At one point, the JLP was bandied about as the rich people party. Yes, as the rich people party. But it's stories like George Wright that will really bring us back to the core values of who we are as a movement, as who we are as a people. I'm humbled by his upbringing. I cannot speak to what exists today in terms of the allegations. I have to be guided by, as he rightfully said, by what the police says. And as such, until that changes, and I'm noted for being one of the persons who change when the facts change. As it stands now, the facts remain the same. I also put it on record that we're human beings, and all of us have fallen short of the glory of God. I appreciate you all. for coming through. All the best to you. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place, when we will bring to you another in the series of Chopping Block. Blessed love, peace, and I'm out.